What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to throw a forehand. I have a few tips that I really think if you have, I would say, a below average forehand, if you go out and use these tips that I talk about today, I can't guarantee it, but I think you're going to improve your forehand. Zones, we got ultras, we got a couple distance drivers, and we got a bunch of buzz SSs, because I want to show you guys that obviously you can throw stable stuff like zones or ultras, but you can also throw something flippy like buzz SS. I'm going to demonstrate a couple throws real quick and then just going to talk about it.
There's 3 keys of disc golf: driving, approaching, and putting. You need all 3 to do this disc sport.
So basically, for all these shots, my aim point is going to be hyzer straight in front of where that yellow sign in the tree is, and then the buzz SSs, try and kind of flip them up and get a little straight flight out of them. Buzz SS flight real quick. So if you've seen my original Forehand for Idiots video, these tips that I talk about today are going to be some of the same, but there's also going to be a few different tips as well. If you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend you go watch it after this one, because there's some very valuable information in there. If you do watch it, go into it with an open mind. So the first little tip that I want to talk about today is going to be something that I haven't seen anywhere, but has pretty much completely changed my forehand. Now, first, we're going to talk a little bit about the grip. So if you're going to take a zone, this is how I hold it. I personally believe that this is the best forehand grip. A lot of people do like a stack grip, like a reverse. I don't know what this is called, I guess. Some people kind of do like they curl it up. I think if you have something that works for you and you have what you would consider to be a above average forehand, stick with that. But if you're, below average and you're looking to really improve, go with this right here. Now, this first technique that I'm going to talk about is going to be, I don't have a name for it, I guess, but basically, instead of acting like you're throwing your hand, you want to throw your elbow and act like your fingers are basically just a lever or like a hook on the disc. So basically, you're going to take your disc, and comment down below right now how many times you think I'm going to say basically during this video. You're going to take your disc, you're going to throw your elbow, and you just want your hand to basically you want your hand to drag. So obviously for me, this shot is going to look easy. It should, at least, because I consider myself to have a very, very above average forehand. But on that shot, all I tried to do was get my elbow to fire. And because my fingers are trained with what to do, that pretty much means it's going to be a good shot because of the lag. The lag, I think, is one of the most important parts when it comes to throwing a forehand. But a lot of times, not having that lag is going to really create the wobble. You don't want wobble when you're throwing a forehand. You want it as smooth as you possibly can. So with that lag comes another key point that is going to help you be able to have that lag and then roll it off your finger. Rolling it off your finger, I think, is going to be one of the most important aspects of learning to throw a forehand. When you throw a forehand, you're not like throwing it with your fingers. You're basically rolling it off of your middle finger, at least with the grip that I use. So you're not actually trying to like throw it, in my opinion. You're trying to just literally flick this middle finger. That's the last point of contact, and it's just gonna roll the disc off. Now let me demonstrate that for you. You're gonna take a zone, lag the hand, let the elbow fire, and you're gonna flick it with the middle finger. The middle finger, I think, pretty much controls everything. It controls if you're gonna have a smooth release. Now let me throw a couple more for you. Grab a couple This is a super beat up buzz, just to kind of demonstrate. So if you want to be able to flick flippy stuff, you need higher spin than speed. A lot of times the reason your forehand is so wobbly is because you're throwing it harder than you are spinning. Like, so your spin rate doesn't match your speed. So a lot of people, I'll see like UDisc numbers and they're like, oh, I throw a, I don't know, let's say a 69 mile an hour forehand, but their spin rate is only 700. Well, that mile an hour is too fast for the spin rate, whereas that spin rate thrown at, say, 50 miles an hour might actually be a decent forehand, because the spin is the reason the disc flies well. The reason Big Germ has such a good touch forehand is because his spin rate is insane. Obviously his speed is also good, but the reason he can throw flippy mids, flippy fairway drivers, do those crazy like beat up star wraith flip up shots is because of the spin rate. The spin rate is what is gonna make your forehand and backhand good. So that's a buzz assess. And now that's a pretty high level forehand shot right there. Most people, it's gonna take them, to be honest, probably years to be able to develop a forehand, to be able to control a flippy mid-range like that. But I think watching this video, you guys might be able to actually get there, because I just don't think the tips that I'm talking about today are really out there, if I'm being honest. A lot of people are going to tell you, you know, start out with flippy stuff. I'm going to actually tell you the opposite. Start out with something that's neutral, stable to slightly overstable. Now that doesn't mean you should be flexing these discs. You should be learning a clean release. So let me grab a couple ultras here. Basically the Ultra 5303. It's a pretty overstable mid-range, but it's not like a beefcake. It's not like a Justice or anything like that. But say a beginner grabs an Ultra. They're gonna take it, they're gonna flex it over like that, and now that might be fine. But if they can throw the same shot but on hyzer with the same stability of disc, that's a much smoother release, and that's gonna eventually teach you to throw discs like a Buzz SS. This throwing the elbow idea, I think, is something that can help so many people, because it takes so much of the effort out of throwing a forehand. If I have this Buzz SS and I hold it, you know, with this grip, and all I'm doing is focusing on this middle finger rolling off, I should be able to take the disc and just flick. And as long as the angle and the spin are clean, that finger should just be able to throw it. Now I know I might be making this look like so simple, it's like not even a thought, because that's kind of how it is for me, at least in like a casual setting. And you guys, maybe you're better than me at forehand and you're watching this and you're like, hey, none of this like matters for me. That's cool, good for you. But for a lot of you, I think this idea of rolling it off your finger and throwing that elbow might be that ticket to what you're missing. It's more of a feel, I guess, than an actual motion, where if I'm my thoughts are just racing, forehand stuff. I'm gonna hold the disc right here. So I'm gonna keep the disc up and I'm gonna throw my elbow through. So the hand can't even go until the elbow is already thrown. What I'm trying to do here is really demonstrate that the elbow needs to stay locked in and really drive the shot. Because if that elbow transfers the energy into your core, transfers the energy into that front foot, and then you can get all of that in timing with the hand lagging behind, then you can get that smooth, powerful release. So now in real time, I'm basically gonna try and demonstrate this throw the elbow, let the fingers drag idea, and I'll try and show you a good throw, I guess. Buzz SS, once again, but it acts as if it's a nice, controlled, stable flight because of the spin rate coming off of the disc. This is the flippiest Buzz SS that I have, so we'll see what we can do. Yeah. The reason I keep telling you it's a Buzz SS is because I feel like anyone could maybe come out here and take a bunch of Firebirds or something and show you like, oh, I have a good forehand, I could throw a 250-foot hyzer. That's great. If that's all you want out of it, that's great. But I think until you can control a disc, you know, like like a Buzz SS, Buzz SS available at powergripusa.com. You can use code Broderick10. It's gonna save yourself it's gonna save you 10% off, guys. If you go there, you buy a nice little Z Buzz SS, or a Firebird, or a Sidewinder, a Thunderbird, anything. Get working on that forehand, guys, or a zone. Those are good. Whatever you want. PowerGripUSA.com. Use code Broderick10. Save you 10% off, and it supports me as well. So I can make more cinemas like this one. Everyone's body is so different. I'm super lucky to have really long arms, big hands, long fingers, so I feel like I've always had a natural feeling forehand. But I also have spent a lot of time trying to continually improve my forehand. So I like to think I have a decent idea of at least what I'm doing. Maybe not everyone else, but I think if you take some notes and take some tips from different people that have a good forehand and kind of find the things that work for you, you might really be able to improve the forehand. And that's what we want here, guys. You gotta have a two-way game. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed that one. Hope that maybe made your forehand a little bit better. Is that zoomed in or, oh, that's up. Okay, yeah. I hope that helps you. Could just be me talking way too much. I don't really know, but if that improves your forehand, let me know down below, guys. Love having feedback. If you want some more ideas on the forehand, if you want a little more in-depth thoughts on like those 3 different styles, go watch my old video. I'll link it. But the throw the elbow, roll it off the middle fingertip is really, I guess, what I wanted to talk about in this video. Because I think that can be a game changer for a lot of you. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
And right here, I have a frisbee bag. It holds all my frisbees, the ones I like.